What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. 45 Super Ammo Test Series number 4 today. We have another Underwood offering today. We do a lot of Underwood in the 45 Super because that's really the only people making it right now. But we have a 200gr Xtreme Penetrator. That's a Lehigh Defense bullet. The Penetrator, not the Defender. We did do the 135gr, I believe, Defender, but this is the 200gr Penetrator. It has an advertised muzzle velocity of 1100 feet per second. So we'll see if we get anywhere near that, and we'll see how it performs in some gel. The firearm we're going to be using today is a Remington R1 1911 5-inch, and it has been sprung and everything proper for 45 Super use. You really shouldn't run 45 Super or 450 SMC through a normally sprung 1911. It has to be one that's rated to take it. Some guns can take it out of the box, some need worked on. We'll be using this firearm and its 3-dot white sights to put 5 rounds into this B8 target, hopefully in the X-ring. We're going to send those through a chronograph and get an average of velocity and foot-pounds. Then we're going to move the chronograph to right in front of the gel so that we can hopefully capture the velocity of the bullet that enters the gel. We have two 20-inch 10% clear ballistics gel blocks for a total of 40 inches. I don't think we'll come out of the first block, but this is the Xtreme Penetrator. It is possible. If we do, we have a dirty block to catch it. And like I always explain, I do my accuracy testing offhand because in a real-life defensive situation, which is what we're pretty much testing out right here, you wouldn't have a bench rest or a table or anything like that. So is it perfect accuracy testing? No, but like I said, practical accuracy. It's how do I handle this ammunition through this gun, just shooting with my hand and my gun, not a rest. Testing explained, let's get to shooting. All right, we're 20 feet off that target, 15 feet off the chronograph. Let's see what we get out of here. We have 1163 and we are on the X. And we are at 1139. Let's go take a look at that real quick before we take another shot. Just had to point that out real quick. That's awesome, hole in hole. Before I ruin the rest of it with some other shots, I just wanted to show you that. That's really good accuracy, obviously, out of that. This 1911 3-dot white sights, it's a very accurate pistol in general, but that's really awesome for that ammo and this pistol together. And we have 1150. And 1156. And we have 1100 on the head. Let's go take a look at the target again. Overall, really good group. I got a little sloppy on these last three. For some reason, I was holding my breath on the last two like I'm not supposed to, but very good group, and it's very manageable in the hand. That 45 Super, it's a 200-grain bullet going at 1100 feet. Yeah, 1100 feet per second exactly right there. Doesn't feel bad at all. Shoots just like, kind of like a plus P is what it's going to feel like. All right, we're 15 feet off the block and chronograph. We're losing light, but hopefully we still get a reading. We're going to send one round down through the gel and see what it actually does. I'm going to try to aim a little bit low and left. All right, we got the hit we wanted, but the sun went away, so we didn't get the chronograph reading. That's all right, we have the other averages. So there's our entrance right where we wanted to get in the middle of the block. We don't have a crazy disruption like we see with some hollow points when they first open up, but we do have what is going to be a very controlled path, a steady path, and it does have more disruption than, let's say, a hard cast, sometimes more than a full metal jacket. Full metal jackets tend to tumble sometimes. This one, I can tell you, did tumble at some point because it is backwards. I don't know if you can see that good. The second block is a little dirty, but it's backwards. It made it to 25 inches. It does not have a lot of bounce back. Sometimes we see these bullets bounce back almost a whole inch, but not this one. This one stayed right at 25 inches pretty much, maybe like a 1/4 inch of bounce back. Let's look from the top. All right, starting there at the beginning, it kind of looks a little bit better from the top. It looks a little bit more violent, especially right there. That could have been a tumble, not sure. But it kept on going. It does have, like I said, a consistent wound track. And then right about there, that's right at 17 inches where we get to the more pokey track. Leave one block, go to the next one, and there we see it. I think you can see the screwdriver tip. It is face backwards. So really good penetration. It is an Xtreme Penetrator versus the Defender. I'm actually not going to cut into the block because, to tell you the truth, it's unnecessary. This thing is going to have no expansion. It's just going to look like the screwdriver tip that you see right there. And you can see that it is facing backwards. So we'll use this gel block for something else cool. Don't worry. It'll involve a 12 gauge. But there you go, 25 inches. So I'm really glad that we hit exactly 1100 feet per second. That proved that the box was accurate. We want to get that kind of velocity. If we're going to mess around with things like 40 Super, 45 Super, 450 SMC, we have to have the bullets doing, or the ammunition, I always get my words wrong. We have to make sure that it does what's advertised. Otherwise, what's the point? If it's just mediocre ammo, then we might as well just use other things. 45 Super isn't for everyone. If you're recoil sensitive, you might not like it too much, but it's really not that bad. Like I said, it's about a 45 plus P. And when you use something like this, something very effective, we saw it in the gel, it is effective, it gets its penetration, nothing's coming apart in this bullet no matter what it goes through. Clothing blind, bone blind, barrier blind, all that stuff. These bullets do crush things. At 45 caliber diameter too, that's even better. And one more thing is, it's only 100 feet per second less than what a 200 grain normal load would be pretty much out of a 10 millimeter. So 100 feet per second less than a 10 millimeter out of a 45, not too bad. And that's just talking about the one or two companies that actually make 10 millimeter like they're supposed to. Again, we saw the accuracy was good. The good shots here you saw right at the beginning, and I'm glad I showed that to you before I got sloppy at the end. It's cold, it's getting dark, and I just let those shots go a little quicker than I probably should have. But super accurate ammo in my opinion. I personally think that whether it's animal defense or personal defense, home defense, whatever you want to call it, this ammo, especially out of this type of a platform, will put a hurting on somebody and do it pretty easily. You can shoot a 1911 very comfortably, very accurately, and to know that it takes minimal things to make these guns run these type of ammos, I like it. I'd really like to see 45 Super, 40 Super, 450 SMC get a little bit more love. It just has no traction anymore. People have really kind of poo-pooed it for some dumb reason, but maybe one day it'll get its resurgence, kind of like 10 millimeter has now. Let me know in the comments what you think about 45 Super, 450 SMC, and this ammo in particular. I think this is a pretty darn good one. If you liked this video and found it helpful, maybe share it with someone else who might also. And if you hit subscribe and hit the notification bell, you won't miss any of the other cool testing that we do. We are on Patreon, and we do have a join button if you feel compelled to help support the channel. With all that said, thank you for watching this video. Hope to see you at the next video, and until then, stay safe, have fun, and keep shooting.